Archangel Michael says this is very serious. God is trying to reach you only. Important alert. Very bad news for you today at 8 p.m. If you leave this, you will cry so much. Open it quickly. Archangel Michael says, this is the hour of truth. And your next breath carries weight like thunder. The air around you feels heavier than usual, like a room holding its breath before a storm lands. A message kept behind locked doors is pressing forward like a wave that refuses to stop. Something is moving through the edges of your life with the quiet of a shadow and the force of a siren. You feel it in the way your heart keeps rewinding old scenes, as if searching for the frame where everything first shifted. The clock keeps whispering that 8 p.m. is not just a time but a doorway, a name that you know is speaking yours in rooms you have never entered. Papers with your details are stacked in folders you have never touched. And yet the ink knows you. A decision made by hands you never met circles toward you like a hawk that has finally found its mark. God is begging for you only. And this calling does not pass you by like a stranger. It stands right in front of you with eyes that recognize your pain and your promise. The warning is clear, and the mercy is closer than your breath. Blessing 333. Type Amen. 333. To claim unstoppable protection and clear paths. The day feels normal on the surface, but underneath it, a tremor moves like a secret river. You can tell by the way random memories keep arriving, small sparks reminding you of moments you left unresolved. The world is squeezing you into a choice you can no longer postpone. At exactly 8 p.m., a seal will break on a truth that has been pacing like a caged animal. The truth is not gentle today, yet it is necessary like medicine that burns before it heals. You will feel the point where fear meets courage, and something inside you will refuse to bow to despair. There is a person who has tried to control the script of your life, acting like a director who never learned your real story. They are worried because they know the light is coming and light never negotiates with deceit. The mask they wear was stitched with promises that never belonged to you. Your body understands the pressure before your mind names it. Your spirit knows the sound of footsteps that carry news you did not ask for but cannot avoid. You are being led to a moment that will remake how you see everything. Lesson 444. Type Amen. 444. To anchor divine order in your steps. You remember the day a message almost reached you and then vanished as if swallowed by fog. The day is returning with evidence in its hands and witnesses at its back. This time the message will not miss you. Someone close carried your story into a room of authority where pens move like blades and signatures become battles. They believed they could bind you to an outcome that kept you small and silent. They did not account for the courage that finally woke up in you. A set of keys will appear in a conversation, not of metal, but of words that unlock doors in your understanding. You will notice how one statement lights another, like matches forming a trail toward the locked room. When the last match flares, the door will open and the heat will turn into clarity. Archangel Michael says the storm is loud, but your name stands taller than the wind. He places a shield at your left and a fire at your right to burn what should never return. Your path is guarded, and your breath is counted as precious. Blessing 555. Type Amen. 555. To activate radical change in your favor. Here is paperwork that tried to tell a lie about you, but the ink is starting to sweat. You will see dates that do not match and signatures that tremble under scrutiny. What was hidden as routine will be revealed as a scheme. A phone will ring or a message will arrive and the voice will carry the weight of an unexpected ally. This ally is done being silent, and their conscience aches like a bruise that finally demands healing. They will choose truth because the night has become too heavy to carry. Your heart will race, but it will not run away. It will stand like a lighthouse holding steady while dark waters crash against stone. The beam it sends will be steady enough for others to steer by. The bad news that tries to break you at 8 p.m. will arrive like a wave. Yet under that wave, another current will rise and it will carry you higher than the storm predicted. What tries to end you will announce your beginning. Blessing 666. Type Amen. 666 to transmute heavy energy into divine strength. A relative or a familiar name will attempt a last-minute switch of truth. hoping to confuse the room. Their words will pull like tide, but your spirit will anchor like a mountain that refuses to move. The silence that follows will belong to you. A document marked urgent will reveal how long your name has been borrowed without consent. You will see the fingerprints of fear all over it, and you will understand why your peace felt crowded. The paper will not be stronger than the hand that now tears it open. You have cried over nights that never learn your language, and yet your tears have watered a future that is ready. The ground under you is loosening old nails, giving back what was fastened to the wrong story. You will feel the sound of release even before you name it. You will not apologize for surviving the plot written against you. You will not shrink to fit the lie that never matched your capacity. You will stand, and the room will find its true size. Blessing 777. Type Amen 777 to receive divine favor and unstoppable victory. The person who doubted you will see a side of you they never believed existed. Your calm will be louder than their accusations, and your patience will be sharper than their plans. The room will recognize the owner of the truth. A letter tucked inside another letter will come to light the way a secret sometimes hides in the pocket of a larger secret. Its words will travel straight to the center of the matter like an arrow that never misses. This letter will carry your turning point. The clock will roll toward 8 p.m. with the ceremony of a drum that cannot be ignored. Each minute will strike like a step on stone, and your breath will learn the rhythm of courage. You will meet the hour without trembling. Your name will be called and you will answer with a strength that surprises even you. The ground will feel firm and generous under your feet, as if it has waited for this stance. The room will realign around your voice. Blessing 888. Type Amen 888 to open streams of abundance and restoration. A memory returns not to haunt you, but to deliver a message you once missed. You will see that even your detours were arrows pointing back to the right road. Nothing you lost stayed lost if it taught you how to see. The person in the black suit who once pretended to shield you has begun to sweat. Their stories are unthreading, and the fabric they wore as protection is falling into strips. The truth is a mirror that their face cannot hold. Your ally will hand you a folder with a seal you recognize. The seal breaks easily now as if it was waiting for the right hands. Inside is a line that rewrites the whole page. At 8 p.m., the bad news will try to bow your head. You will lift it instead, and the news will bow to a power it cannot explain. The narrative will switch hands, and the pen will belong to you. Blessing 999. Type Amen 999 to complete cycles and step into new authority. You will feel the old heaviness crack like ice at the start of spring. Air that once felt thin will move with softness and depth. Your lungs will thank you for choosing life again. A call from a number you do not know will bring a voice you have needed for a long time. The voice will speak straight and without decoration, and each word will unfold like a calm dawn. You will hear the difference between noise and guidance. The person who tried to frame you will watch their own frame break. The corners will not hold because the truth has outgrown the room. What was arranged against you will disassemble itself. You will start to sense how big your horizon truly is. The walls that were pushed around your name will fall upward, like gates opening in unison. Space will find you and you will recognize it as home. Blessing 1010. Type Amen 1010 to align with divine timing and fresh opportunities. A forgotten message will be forwarded to you with the simplest subject line. The content will light every corridor inside your mind with calm certainty. You will know that the delay did not deny you. A reconciliation you did not chase will arrive like rain that understands thirsty soil. Dignity will stay with you as you accept what belongs to you and release what does not. Peace will walk in and set its bag down for a long stay. Another envelope sits behind the first, and it holds numbers that speak fluent relief. These numbers are not empty promises, but confirmed releases that carry your name like a signature that finally matches your heart. An amount becomes a bridge that carries you out of scarcity. Your steps will feel guided without pressure. Your choices will taste clean like water that remembers its source. You will move with clarity that requires no pause. Blessing 1111. Type Amen 1111 to welcome guided doors and destined connections. The person who doubted your resilience will watch you make a quiet exit from their expectations. Your silence will be a boundary and not a prison. Your new path will not need their permission. You will gather your documents, your courage, and your proof. and you will walk them into the light one by one. The light will not flinch, and neither will you. The story will settle into truth like a spine returning to alignment. A calm message goes to a trusted friend who once held your hand when the night felt endless. This friend will smile because they always knew you would reach this place. Their joy will echo like bells ringing over water. You will choose rest without guilt. Your body will remember how to unclench from the old emergencies. Sleep will arrive like a loyal guard taking the first watch. Blessing 1212. Type Amen 1212 to anchor balance, peace, and lasting growth. Morning will come, and with it a simplicity you have not felt in a long time. The sun will pour through your window as if it owes you an explanation, and then gives you a gift instead. You will breathe and the room will agree with you. You will dress for a future that invites you rather than threatens you. Your reflection will look like a person who kept going when others would have collapsed. Strength will wear your face with pride. A quiet gratitude will replace the old trembling. You will bless even the shadows for pointing you toward the fire. You will keep what is true and lay the rest down. Archangel Michael says the chapter that tried to trap you has ended, and the page now turns under your hand alone. He confirms that your steps belong to victory that does not need noise to prove itself. He seals your borders with protection that does not sleep. Blessing 1313. Type Amen 1313 to seal protection, progress, and prosperity. You will organize your day with a small list that carries big authority. Each task will fit into its own place like a tile finding its mosaic. Order will move into your life as a quiet friend. Your name will no longer be a battleground. It will be a banner of survival and promise. You will wear it with peace. The people who truly love you will sense the lift in your spirit without you saying a word. They will meet you with gentleness because they remember your storms. Community will feel like shelter and not a crowd. The road ahead is lined with fresh doors. Some will open because you knock with courage, and some will open because they recognize your arrival. None will close on you without revealing a better path. Blessing 1414. Type Amen 1414 to invite guided breakthroughs and steady elevation. Your evening will feel different now that you know how to listen to the hour instead of fearing it. The same clock that once sounded like a warning will sound like a promise. You will move toward 8 p.m. as a sovereign, not a prisoner. When the message arrives, you will be ready to hear without breaking. You will sort through the noise with a single glance. The news will not own you because you already own your next step. A sense of completion will settle over your shoulders like a cloak that finally fits. You will feel tall without standing on anything. The ground itself will lift to meet your feet. Archangel Michael says your story is no longer held hostage by hidden hands, and your breath belongs to your purpose again. He grants you the quiet victory that outlives applause and the firm direction that outlasts opposition. He walks with you into the room you were born to enter. Blessing 1515. Type Amen 1515 to lock in joy, justice, and divine momentum. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $20. The courier arrived after sunset with a weathered envelope and a steady gaze. He said, "Your name," like it belonged to the room, then placed the envelope on the table like a quiet verdict. The seal broke with a soft sound, and the air seemed to tilt toward you. Inside, a notarized statement corrected the record that had been used to hold you back. Dates aligned, signatures matched truth, and the timeline finally confessed what your spirit always knew. Relief moved through your chest like a door opening from the inside. Your ally called at the exact moment the street lamps came alive. Their voice carried calm strength as they confirmed that filings had been reversed and your consent restored. A chain you never agreed to wear slipped off without a sound. You stood at the window and watched your reflection learn a new language. The language was dignity that does not need volume and courage that does not need witnesses. The night felt less like a wall and more like a sky. Blessing 1616. Type Amen 1616 to anchor reversible corrections and protected pathways. Morning carried a letterhead from an office that once ignored your messages. The email began with an apology that felt heavy and sincere, then moved into details that returned what was yours by right. You read it twice and felt the balance return to your breath. A second file arrived from a private investigator who had followed the shadow trail. The report mapped each attempt to borrow your name and replicate your signature. The report closed with proof that cannot be argued and a recommendation for your restitution. Your hands stopped shaking because they finally had something true to hold. The table spread with tidy stacks labeled by date, by witness, by action, by outcome. Order became your ally, and your future sat down in the chair across from you. A quiet message went to a friend who stayed when others vanished. You thanked them without drama and promised yourself to remember this steadiness. Their reply was a simple heart that felt like a lighthouse at low tide. Blessing 1717. Type Amen 1717 to invite loyal allies and precise vindication. By midday, a call came from a bank official who had reviewed the release forms. Their tone was formal but kind as they confirmed movement on funds delayed by confusion and fear. Numbers you once only dreamed of crossed into reality like bridges built overnight. A key appeared in your palm, not for a door you knew, but for rooms that matched your growth. You felt the weight of it and understood that access had replaced anxiety. The lock it belonged to would not resist you. A relative reached out with a halting message that admitted their part in the storm. You listened with a strong spine and an open face, choosing truth over revenge. The conversation ended with boundaries that protect peace and space that allows change. The black car that used to idle at the corner no longer felt like a threat. It was only a car and not a prophecy. Your body released a warning it had carried too long and replaced it with quiet. Blessing 1818. Type Amen 1818 to activate financial flow and protective access. Sunlight crept across your documents and settled on the page that mattered most. That page carried your full name like a promise finally kept. You placed it in a folder marked with your initials and a future date that makes sense to your hopes. The person in the suit who once spoke over you now spoke with you. Your voice chose clarity over performance and accuracy over pressure. You left the room taller than you entered without needing to explain a single thing. A door opened to a workspace that felt like an exhale. Clean surfaces, warm light, and a chair that welcomed your focus without stealing your breath. You began a list titled Next Steps and felt the pen become an instrument of mercy. You scheduled time for rest as seriously as you scheduled time for action. Your calendar honored your healing and made appointments with joy. Structure became the scaffolding that holds your rise. Blessing 1919. Type Amen 1919 to seal healed minds and restored names. Evening brought a tap at your door and a neighbor carrying a small plant. They said it was hardy and forgiving, the kind that survives both drought and flood. You smiled because you recognized your own story in its leaves. An unexpected email arrived from a mentor you once admired from a distance. They had seen your name attached to integrity and wanted to discuss a collaboration that respects your voice. Your hands felt warm with anticipation that did not rely on luck. You walked outside as the sky shifted to deep blue. The air tasted new and the street felt like a promise kept by the earth itself. You traced your route with a pace that honored your recovery. The quiet of night did not press against you anymore. It wrapped around you like a soft cloak that knows the way home. The old edge softened and left room for wonder. Blessing 2020. Type Amen 2020 to welcome clear vision, aligned offers, and gentle protection. A message from legal confirmed that the final obstacles had been removed. Language that once tangled your progress now read like a ribbon being pulled free. You understood every line and felt no hidden hooks under the sentences. Your allies sent a photograph of the signed confirmation page. The ink looked restful and the date matched the moment your heart steadied. The image told the truth without needing a caption. You replied with gratitude that did not dilute your strength. You affirmed the boundaries that keep your peace intact and your choices clean. Your future agreed with the tone and moved closer. You turned off notifications and let silence teach you how to celebrate without noise. The celebration was breath, posture, and vision. It was a lamp left on for the life that has finally arrived at your door. Blessing 2121. Type Amen 2121 to crown this chapter with wisdom, wealth, and watchful grace. Morning returned with soft confidence and a checklist that respected your energy. You crossed off tasks without rushing and left generous margins in the day. Pace became a decision and not a reaction. You opened a letter from a foundation that supports stories like yours. They had reviewed your journey and offered resources for the next stage. The words landed like provisions on a long road that no longer felt lonely. A craftsman delivered a small wooden box engraved with your initials. Inside was a pen balanced for long writing and a note about new chapters. You held the pen and felt the future move from concept to craft. You sat at your desk and wrote a declaration that fits you. It spoke of clarity, resilience, and doors that open because you arrive prepared. It ended with a promise to treat your life like a sacred assignment. Blessing 2222. Type Amen 222222 to align sacred assignments with sustained favor. Your phone vibrated with a message from the bank confirming the release. The numbers settled in your account like pillars under a bridge. Stability replaced scarcity without needing explanation. A calendar reminder nudged you toward a brief walk under a bright sky. Your steps felt anchored and light at the same time. Each block carried away the residue of rooms that once misnamed you. You received a sincere letter from someone who once stood against you. It contained an acknowledgement without excuses and a repayment without delays. You accepted the repair while maintaining the strength of distance. You organized your documents into a simple system that future-proofs your peace. Labels, backups, and a trusted hand who knows where things live. Order is now part of your protection plan. Blessing 2323. Type Amen 2323 to lock in stable provision, clean repairs, and orderly protection. An invitation arrived for you to speak about resilience in a quiet gathering. The room will be small and the listeners attentive. Your story will travel like a lantern passed from one steady hand to another. You selected clothing that felt like truth instead of armor. The fabric moved with you and not against you. Every thread agreed with the person you have become. When you practiced your notes, your voice surprised you with warmth. No tremor, no apology, just depth. The mirror reflected a calm authority that needs no permission. You closed your notebook and let your shoulders settle. The time ahead felt clean and the air in the room felt generous. You blessed the path that led here and the path that opens now. Blessing 2424. Type Amen 2424 to bless your voice, your visibility, and your victory. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. The room welcomed your arrival with a hush that felt respectful rather than tense. Chairs formed a circle that made everyone equal and present. You took your place without shrinking and let your breath lead the way. Stories crossed the room like bridges made of shared courage. Eyes softened as truths landed without loud echoes. You realized that healing prefers steady steps over loud announcements. When it was your turn, you spoke with the same calm that rebuilt your mornings. You did not relive old injuries for spectacle. You named them for closure. The ground under your words stayed firm and kind. A quiet applause rose like a gentle tide and receded with grace. You sat down lighter than you rose. The lantern of your story stayed lit without stealing anyone else's light. Blessing 2525. Type Amen 2525 to claim enduring visibility, heartfelt respect, and safe spaces. After the gathering, a woman approached with a folder pressed to her chest. She explained she had worked in the building where your file had been mishandled. Her voice carried relief as she placed copies of internal memos into your hands. The memos showed the exact corridor your name had traveled. They proved who signed, who stalled, and who finally pushed for the correction. Each page felt like a stone removed from a riverbed to clear the flow. You thanked her with a kind of gratitude that recognizes personal risk. She nodded and said, "The truth feels lighter once carried together." You promised to use the papers only for repair, never for revenge. Back home, you filed the memos under a tab titled, Proof of Light. The cabinet drawer closed with a gentle finality. Your spine aligned with a purpose that does not bend to noise. Blessing 2626. Type Amen 2626 to secure transparent pathways, wise allies, and fearless order. A message from your ally arrived with a calendar attachment. The dates lined up with upcoming meetings that now favored your position. The subject line read, Your turn, and your chest answered with warmth. You prepared a simple outline that would travel cleanly through any room. Evening settled around your desk like friendly silence. You closed your laptop knowing it worked for you and not against you. Tomorrow felt invited rather than demanded. Blessing 2727. Type Amen 2727 to anchor open doors, guided schedules, and calm authority. At sunrise, you revisited your list with fresh eyes. 2 items were unnecessary and fell away without protest. 3 remained and promised outsized results. You reached out to a community contact who had always believed in your steadiness. They replied with a note that included a name and a time. The name matched exactly what your path required. You reviewed your documentation once more and felt no tremor. Every page told the same story in different words. Consistency became your quiet armor. By midday, your phone vibrated with a confirmation for a meeting that once seemed impossible. The message ended with, "We appreciate your patience and clarity." You smiled because patience and clarity had learned your name. Blessing 2828. Type Amen 2828 to multiply confirmed meetings, aligned names, and fruitful patience. The city felt new as you walked to the appointment. Buildings that once loomed now looked like witnesses rather than judges. The sky held enough space for your momentum. At reception, your access card worked on the first attempt. The door eased open like a promise kept. You entered without rushing and without shrinking. Inside, you found faces ready to listen rather than defend. Your words moved like water in a channel expertly carved. They traveled directly to the places where decisions live. The conversation ended with a handshake that did not fish for advantage. The agreement respected your boundaries and affirmed your rights. You left the room with more energy than you brought in. Blessing 2929. Type Amen 2929 to seal fair agreements, bright stamina, and rightful recognition. A gentle rain began as you stepped outside. It felt like a soft applause from a sky that remembers your storms. The pavement carried your reflection forward with quiet pride. Your mentor called with careful enthusiasm. They said your case would be cited as a model for dignified correction. Their words folded into you like warmth into wool. An invitation followed to contribute to a small panel on ethical process. You agreed because the topic matched your journey with precision. Influence arrived without noise and settled without drama. Back at your desk, you wrote 3 sentences that felt like a charter. Protect truth without spectacle. Guard peace without surrender. Advance with kindness and accuracy. Blessing 3030. Type Amen 3030 to crown ethical influence, gentle leadership, and unshakable peace. Evening brought a message from the bank about a scheduled release to a community initiative you chose. Giving felt like proof that scarcity had lost its grip. The confirmation number read like a quiet song. You arranged your workspace for the next season. Fresh folders labeled projects, and a small framed reminder that said, "Stay aligned." The room looked ready to host growth. A friend dropped off a book about building from clarity. You placed it on your nightstand like an agreement. Learning now partnered with rest instead of replacing it. The night stretched long but not heavy. You welcomed the hours as companions rather than obstacles. The dark held your progress like a careful guardian. Blessing 3131. Type Amen 3131 to invite generous cycles, ready rooms, and teachings that land. Morning arrived with a message stamped, "Final Confirmation." It documented the last reversal and the official closing of the old era. The seal looked calm as if it trusted your hands. You sent a brief note of appreciation to every person who chose truth over convenience. Each message was specific and measured. Gratitude moved across the network like warm light. You updated your personal records with a completion date. Your timeline now reflected what your spirit had always carried. Order and relief shook hands inside your chest. You stood at the window and watched the street come alive. Ordinary life looked miraculous in its simplicity. You recognized the gift in being unafraid of the next hour. Blessing 3232. Type Amen 3232 for sealed completions, precise gratitude, and fearless hours. An opportunity surfaced to mentor someone just beginning their repair. Their message carried the tremor you once knew. You answered with a calm blueprint and a promise that they would not walk alone. You prepared a small guide based on your lived steps. It included contact lists, check routines, and language that keeps dignity intact. The guide felt like a handrail built into a staircase. Your mentee replied that the first call had already gone better than expected. Their victory tasted familiar and sweet. Hope multiplied without asking permission. You closed your eyes and let a wordless blessing move through the room. It sounded like breath, like certainty, like dawn. The day stood on steady feet and welcomed your next choice. Blessing 3333. Type Amen 33333 to expand wise mentorship, repeatable wins, and sure as dawn certainty. A courier delivered a slim box with a certificate inside. It recognized your contribution to procedural integrity. The paper felt simple and honest, like a plain door made of strong wood. You hung the certificate without turning it into a pedestal. It was a marker, not a throne. Your life remained the main story. A message pinged from the panel organizer with final details. The audience would be small, the questions thoughtful, the timing humane. Your role was to illuminate, not overwhelm. You rehearsed your opening lines once and then chose trust. Memory would carry what mattered, and presence would supply the rest. Your calm became your script. Blessing 3434. Type Amen 3434 to stabilize earned honor, easeful delivery, and living memory. The panel room glowed with low light and careful attention. You spoke, others spoke, and truth moved like a relay baton passed cleanly, hand to hand. Nothing slipped, and no one stumbled. Afterward, 2 attendees lingered to thank you for naming boundaries without bitterness. Their faces held the look of people who will carry the lesson forward. You felt the rare relief of impact without exhaustion. You walked out into the evening as the city lights woke up. The air held a soft chill that sharpened your sense of arrival. The road ahead looked wide enough to breathe. At home, you placed your notes in a folder labeled, "Done for now." You brewed tea and let quiet have the last word. The last word sounded like peace, choosing to stay. Blessing 3535. Type Amen 3535 to keep gentle impact, replenished energy, and lasting quiet. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to 120. The morning after the panel felt like a clear page that welcomed ink. You arranged your desk, watered the hardy plant, and let the room teach your body how ease can be productive. The calendar showed white space that looked like permission rather than emptiness. A package arrived with a slim ledger embossed with your initials. Inside were guided pages for tracking choices without pressure, paired with quiet notes about rest between steps. You smiled because your life had started speaking in a language that fits. Your mentee sent a voice note that carried steady breath and newly sorted facts. They had followed your blueprint and watched a door open without argument. Their gratitude moved through the room like a warm lamp turning on. You updated the guide with 2 more lines learned from experience. Choose clarity before speed, and honor pace as a power. The document felt like a companion rather than a demand. Blessing 3636. Type Amen 3636 to seal simple systems, warm guidance, and sustainable pace. An official letter confirmed that the archived records now carry your corrected name. The past no longer argues with the present inside those files. The future is free to walk forward without tripping over old labels. You folded the letter and slid it into the folder marked Proof of Light. The drawer closed with the softness of a completed chapter. Your shoulders remembered how to sit without bracing. The neighbor with the plant waved from the hallway with an easy grin. They mentioned a community event where voices like yours shift rooms without shouting. You marked the date because advocacy now feels like clarity, not combat. The afternoon stretched in gentle arcs as you prepared a few careful notes. Every sentence chose dignity over spectacle and direction over drama. Your pen moved like a calm river that knows where it is going. Blessing 3737. Type Amen 3737 to anchor rightful records, balanced advocacy, and calm momentum. A quiet ping brought an invitation to consult on a process reform. The message named your steadiness and your care with details that protect people. You accepted because integrity has become your fluent dialect. Later, an envelope arrived from a relative who had once stood in your way. The letter offered a clean acknowledgement and a boundary that matched your own. Together, those lines felt like a door that opens both directions with respect. You placed the letter under a small stone on your desk to honor its weight. Forgiveness arrived as simple air rather than a speech. Your body agreed that peace can coexist with distance. Evening found you walking the long route home beneath streetlights that looked like patient stars. The city no longer towered like a verdict, but welcomed like a map. Your steps kept time with a drum you no longer feared. Blessing 3838. Type Amen 3838 to release grudges, repair boundaries, and welcome aligned work. A message from the bank confirmed that a contribution you pledged has reached the right hands. The receipt did not inflate your pride. It quieted it into right-sized generosity. The cycle of enough settled deeper into your days. You drew a small diagram of your next 3 months on a single page. Arrows linked rest, service, craft, and growth into a circle that breathes. The plan looked like a living thing rather than a cage. Your mentor forwarded a thoughtful essay about leadership without performance. You read it slowly and felt your breath align with each measured line. Wisdom moved into the room and pulled up a chair. Night carried rain that spoke in a steady rhythm against the window. You slept as if the bed itself promised to guard your hours. The dark felt like a friend with gentle hands. Blessing 3939. Type Amen 3939 to multiply generosity, living plans, and guarded rest. By dawn, your mentee reported a second breakthrough with firm documentation. Their confidence sounded like someone who knows their foundation is finally true. You saved their message in a folder called Evidence of Good. A brown folder from legal arrived with a final ledger of corrections and releases. The numbers were clean, the language precise, and the signatures steady. You exhaled with the sound of doors finishing their swing on well-oiled hinges. You scheduled a brief trip to see water that remembers how to hold the horizon. Travel now meant nourishment rather than escape. A suitcase felt lighter than its weight. At the station, you noticed how strangers carry their own quiet storms and quiet victories. Kindness looked like eye contact and unhurried steps. The day made room for you without negotiation. Blessing 4040. Type Amen 4040 to welcome clean closures, nourishing travels, and easy passage. The shoreline received you with a long breath of wind. Waves kept their appointments with the sand like faithful messengers. You listened until your bones remembered the sound of arriving whole. You wrote 3 fresh pages that were not about survival, but about craft. The sentences carried muscles built in harder seasons, yet moved with grace. Creation returned as a friend you can trust. A small cafe offered a window seat where time loosened its grip. People moved like paragraphs inside a living book. Your coffee cooled as you wrote, and the page stayed warm. You sent a short note to thank the woman who shared the building memos. Gratitude felt like a well-made bridge that never forgets the river beneath it. Connection kept its promise without becoming an obligation. Blessing 4141. Type Amen 4141 to bless creative flow, faithful places, and remembered helpers. On the train back, you outlined a workshop titled Order Without Fear. The headings were simple and the exercises practical. Healing stood beside structure and nodded in agreement. Your access card caught the afternoon light when you reached your building. The door opened like a habit that loves you back. Home accepted you without ceremony. You organized receipts, updated a ledger, and set 2 small goals. Each action hummed with calm sufficiency. The hum sounded like a household that knows its own rhythm. Evening sent you a message from the panel coordinator with feedback that felt like a soft bell. Participants valued your steadiness and your refusal to dramatize what needs clarity. You read it once and let it settle in your chest like good news that knows how to be quiet. Blessing 4242. Type Amen 4242 to stabilize clear teaching, trusted access, and household harmony. The weekend arrived with pages of unscheduled hours. You chose to fill them with craft, light, and conversation that feeds rather than drains. The choice felt like wealth measured in oxygen. Your mentee shared that their opponent had withdrawn a false claim. Relief sounded like a door closing on a winter wind. You celebrated with a calm that honors the cost of getting here. You donated a set of folders, a printer credit, and a list of contacts to a community office. The clerk smiled with tired eyes that still carried fire. You left knowing the gift would multiply where it was needed. At dusk, you stood by the window and watched the city trace lines of gold across its own face. You realized that the ground has started meeting your feet halfway. The partnership between your steps and your path has become mutual. Blessing 4343. Type Amen 4343 to crown shared winds, quiet generosity, and mutual paths. A parcel arrived containing a framed print of your guiding charter. Protect truth without spectacle. Guard peace without surrender. Advance with kindness and accuracy. You placed it where morning light can read it first. You received a message from a distant friend who had heard about your turnaround. Their words were clean and free of envy. Connection reached across time zones and found you easily. A new project brief landed in your inbox with requirements that respect capacity. It asked for clarity, timelines, and humane check-ins. You said yes without tension because the terms matched your syntax. Night returned with windows open and curtains breathing slowly. You allowed the air to move through the room the way grace moves through a healed story. The movement felt like a promise kept without publicity. Blessing 4444. Type Amen 4444 to invite right work, right people, and right pace. A final letter from archives confirmed that cross-referenced systems reflect the correct record. The last echo of error dissolved into documented accuracy. Your name stood untroubled where it belongs. You added a final page to your Proof of Light folder titled Lessons That Stay. The page listed 12 lines, each simple enough to memorize and durable enough to trust. Wisdom grew roots without growing thorns. Your mentee closed their case with a clear summary and a graceful exit. Their message ended with a simple line that felt like a shared anthem. We are not afraid of the hour anymore. Evening carried a sky the color of soft steel and early stars. You brewed tea and let silence be the teacher again. The quiet agreed that this chapter holds. Blessing 4545. Type Amen 4545 to seal accurate names, rooted wisdom, and fearless hours. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $20. A routine audit surfaced a second file stamped with an unfamiliar code. The folder carried your initials, yet its root had avoided your eyes until today. The discovery landed like thunder wrapped in velvet and asked your courage to rise without sound. Inside, a chain of approvals revealed a stalled authorization that should have reached you months ago. The language was crisp, but the pauses between lines told on the delay. Your chest recognized the old ache, but stayed steady as daylight. You alerted your ally with a measured summary and attached the pages. Their reply arrived in minutes, concise and surgical, already moving the right levers. Momentum returned to the case like tide reclaiming the shore. By noon, a senior officer called with an apology shaped like action. The fix traveled through the system in clean, documented steps, not promises. Relief didn't shout this time. It settled into place like a well-fit stone. Blessing 4646. Type Amen 4646 to cement swift corrections, visible receipts, and calm power. A courier delivered a compact drive containing archived recordings of key meetings. The files confirmed who protected the blockage and who quietly pushed for the truth. Evidence gathered around you like guardians standing shoulder to shoulder. You took careful notes that mapped moments to decisions. Timelines aligned with a clarity that left no corners for shadows to hide. The story stopped wobbling and stood on legs made of fact. Your mentor suggested a short statement for the record that honors the helpers. You wrote it with respect and precise gratitude. No theatrics. Systems respond better to honesty that breathes. The department head asked to meet and brought a corrective agreement. The document was brief, humble, and built on enforceable clarity. Your signature landed like a bell, ringing the hour that finally belongs to you. Blessing 4747. Type Amen 4747 to lock in honest witnesses, timeline truths, and enforceable peace. Evening light found you organizing proof into a single binder. Tabs marked process, allies, releases, and lessons that stay. The spine felt strong like your posture learning its new home. You drafted a template for others who may face the same storm. Each section carried steps that spare people from unnecessary harm. It read like a bridge designed by someone who remembers the river. A soft chime announced a deposit confirmation for previously delayed funds. The numbers entered quietly, bringing stability without spectacle. Scarcity loosened its last knot and let go. You forwarded a portion to a community desk that protects the overlooked. The receipt returned with a thank you that didn't flatter. It recognized circles of enough widened without losing shape. Blessing 4848. Type Amen 4848 to multiply steady income, protected bridges and circles of enough. Morning arrived with a message titled, System-wide update implemented. Your case had sparked new checks that prevent buried authorizations. Change moved from your page into the wider map like dawn crossing a ridge. You met the woman who first slipped you the internal memos for coffee. Her laugh sounded lighter now that the corridor is clean. You thanked her again, and the gratitude felt like an oath to keep the path clear. A relative sent a photo of an heirloom long withheld. The frame held more than a picture. It held permission for closure. You placed it near the hardy plant where good light finds it. A fresh invitation asked you to co-author guidelines for ethical release protocols. The draft would be short, teachable, and grounded in real repair. You agreed because your life now speaks that language fluently. Blessing 4949. Type Amen 4949 to anchor systemic upgrades, rightful returns, and teachable repair. An attorney who once stood across from you requested a brief call. Their tone was even and free of old corners. They proposed a public correction that restores both accuracy and trust. You suggested simple wording, clean timelines, and a respectful record. They accepted it without resistance because truth is easiest to carry. The date was set and your calendar exhaled. A quiet courier arrived with a sealed envelope bearing a gold embossed seal. Inside was a certificate confirming the expungement of the false trail. Paperwork finally mirrored reality instead of haunting it. In the afternoon, you felt a final tremor leave your sternum. The body keeps its own archives and yours just approved the release. Breath took its rightful seat at the center of you. Blessing 5050. Type Amen 5050 to seal public corrections, mirrored paperwork, and embodied peace. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to 120. Clear points, neat evidence, and a final note titled, Integrity Maintained. The outline felt like a compass that never panics. A courier returned with a small metal card for building access. It gleamed without shouting. Access now followed you the way shadow follows light.